Now I want to talk about liability and safety with education while we wait for part two, because part two is going to explain a little bit why we need that in part two. Right? Because when it comes to learning, you have liabilities as you learn. And it's good to get paid while you learn. That's cool. That happens in some areas. But in some areas, it's good to learn, like before you become a doctor. It's good to learn before you start working with patients, a fair bit. It's good to learn a fair bit of maths. And so there's areas we're still learning. You hear about people that, say, lion trainers and stuff like that. They always get attacked. And they usually get attacked because lion trainers do use a web. So that area, they have problems in that area a lot. And then even the people that handle them, right? They'll take their anger out in all sorts of ways. Humans do that. They get grudges because of others, and then they take their anger out on others. Right? It's a nature thing. And so when it comes to, in that area, in part two that I talk about, and a certain area, in my area, when things happen, they won't be on the news, right? News is something that needs to be shown because it needs to be talked about to be fixed. And it's an emergency, so it's on the news, and it's not getting studied or getting fixed. And so you have news, and it's good and bad. Right? We chuck up good things to help morale, and we chuck up bad things to help us stop bad things. Right? And if you hear bad things a lot, that means bad things is happening a lot, and it's getting worse. That's not good. And so at my place, it'll happen. People think, right, people will get a payout, right, because it'll be their job, their area when they go to mingle, or the insurance for people who are mingling if they get in an accident, like the feeder and stuff like that. There's always going to be accidents in the world. But first, there'll always be education first in certain areas that need it. Right? Definitely when it comes to your life. So you're working with something that can kill you, you need to be educated in the safety area of that. Right? And the best way to be safe from someone, they call it love, isn't it? The best way to be safe, right? Doesn't guarantee it, because sometimes love can actually kill, right? Definitely if you're too loving, I've heard about that and all that kind of stuff. Obsessed, right? Obsessed people love, but they end up, killing the people they love and things around it because they're so obsessed. Those kind of obsessed killers and stuff. What happens if obsession goes too far? And obsession means they've got too much ego of themselves, of what they believe they should have, right? And humans are like that in all sorts of fields because of their ego factor. So we need to get educated in that area, like how we educate children, that it's naughty not to do that and to control that instinct. And over time, it goes away. But while it's there, nature keeps it in and it hangs around. How do you think we upgrade? How do you think birds naturally have things? Why do babies naturally cry? That worked for us. All right? Well, one day it might not, right? And it'll become different. And you'll have kids that perhaps not cry so much. Birds just flew over me, doing a little drop. And so when you do these Hammond fields, which is what I talk about in part two there, of it ripped my arm off, you wouldn't have these problems so much. It'll actually get rid of that story. It can happen, but it'd be an accident, a liability thing, the machine malfunctioned. You know how those accidents happen? You take all the safety precautions that you know of, but the machine malfunctioned. And that's there. We need to learn about why the machine malfunctioned. And we move on with that. Like, why did the line snap at that place? You took all the right steps, protocols. If you don't, accidents happen. Right? And so you could have to go in these fields. See, I like to be at this place, this Hammond place, and be able to be the person, a little bit like the raptor dude, that you get used to all the animals as much as you can. You can't do them all, right? And at least know the standards of what you should know of safety, right? Till you get to know them. And then you can know more about the ones you want to know and hang around and be around more and play with more, right? And if you have these places and you're releasing animals and there's a lot of them out there and animals teach each other and talk to each other, they might be more friendly to you, as I've talked about when it comes to the birds outside, right? As they believe that you're not a threat. When they believe you're not a threat, they more likely interact with you than kill you, right? Unless they're really hungry, and then that human instinct comes in at the end of survival. We all got that one, and they might just kill you. But if they don't need to, and they've got other easier choices, that's what nature is. They more likely won't, so that makes you safer. You see. But anyway, have a good one, and see you later.